Good morning. I hope y'all are all doing well. Thanks for sharing all your portraits with me. That is so fun to look and see what you're doing. And you're being so artistic. I think it's just great. And taking your time, which is what I would ask you to do if you were in the art room with me face to face. Our next project is a paper weaving, because that's what third grade is going to do this year. When you come back to school, remember I sent you a message that you need to look for a Y or W shaped stick. And when we start face to face learning, we're going to be branch weaving or stick weaving, cake circle weaving. And because I will not be having large groups, we may even basket weave. Have a little bit of money that I can spend, and I'm thinking maybe that would be fun to do with you guys. But we're going to start with paper weaving because we're at home. And I'm going to have you create your own compositions that we're going to weave. And you're going to create a composition on 2 sheets of paper that is exactly the same. If you look at the slides, you will see how to do that. You create the first composition, and I like to color mine or outline mine with a black marker. And then I took it and I put it on a window with the second sheet of paper on top so that the light could shine through and I could trace the lines that were on the sheet underneath the plain sheet on top. And I got an exact copy, which is what we're looking for. 2 compositions that are the same and are as close to exactly the same size, and everything is in the same place, because that's going to be part of how our weaving ends up looking a little bit cubist, kind of like a Picasso. Our composition is based on a Vincent van Gogh painting, and I know all of y'all will know it. The Starry Night. Beautiful, beautiful. And some of y'all picked Vincent van Gogh as your favorite portrait artist. And he's one of my favorite too, because I love the way he creates texture and movement by slashing his thick paint. But I thought I would just give you a few reminders about Vincent van Gogh and his life. He was born in Holland, and he went to a very strict school because his father was a minister. He wanted to teach and minister to poor people. So he was a missionary of sorts. He went into the mines in his country and helped the miners. And then he went to the hospitals and he would help the sick people in the hospital. He studied to be a minister for over a year, but while he was in college or at the seminary, he began sketching. He really never studied art to become an artist, but he just started sketching the people that he was ministering to. When he was a little bit older, he went with his brother, who became his agent, the person who would try to sell his picture, and would visit museums all over Europe and just look at the beautiful pictures of Rembrandt and Rubens. And he just fell in love with art. He just couldn't help himself. He moved with his brother Theo to Paris and began painting. He met up with a group of painters called Impressionist painters. And he loved their bold colors. He loved the way they slashed the paint onto their canvases. And he thought that their pictures were very, very cheerful, not dark and dreary, but very, very, very happy. He also studied Japanese painting. And that came out later on in lots of his compositions, this whole influence of Japanese painting, which is different from the type of painting that people were doing in Europe. They have a whole different perspective on how to draw and placement of shapes in their compositions. And so it was very interesting to him to see how different artists in different parts of the world approached maybe the same subject matter. He moved to the south of France It was warm there. The sun shone all the time. And his colors, especially the yellows in his paintings, became more and more prevalent. Um, but Vincent van Gogh was sad a lot. And painting made him happy. It was one of the few things that did make him happy. And he did not live a long time, but he painted a lot while he was alive. Unfortunately, he could not sell his paintings because nobody wanted to buy them. And if he hadn't had a brother like Theo who paid his rent and paid for him to have food, he bought his paints, he bought his canvases for him, and his brushes and anything else he needed to be the great artist that he would one day be recognized as, we probably wouldn't have a lot of paintings by Vincent van Gogh. So that's just a little biography about Vincent van Gogh. And you can look him up. You can find his paintings everywhere. In fact, he is probably one of the most sought after painters for people to buy his pictures, even today. And I believe he has either 4 or 5 of the most expensive paintings in the world out of the top 20. He's just, everybody just loves his paintings. So I wanted to give you just a little bit of background about Vincent van Gogh. Now you're going to draw your 2 compositions, and when you're finished with them, you can put them aside until next week, and then you can add the color to them, or you can add color to them this week if you have time. I don't want you to rush through. I want you to take your time. And then next week, I'll probably have a video showing you how we're going to weave our compositions together and what they look like after they are totally woven together. But this week, I want you to concentrate on creating your pictures of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. And there is a slide with the picture, but you can also look it up on the internet and get that accomplished. And if that's all you have time for, then that's perfectly fine with Miss Walker. I will ask you to please send me an attachment by Monday with how much you've completed, whether you've completed the whole assignment or if you're in the middle of it, just so that I know where you are. And if you're having any problems, you email me and I will get back to you. Y'all have a great week. Have a good weekend. It's almost here. Maybe the sun will shine. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.